we need theme music. We need like theme music,
No, we
like
don't.
the days of old when we had theme music. Hello, everyone. I'm Lonnie.
I'm Amberlicious.
We're on Title Nerd Network here with this year, the shitstorm that was 2020, the biggest news stories of the year. Tomorrow is December 31st, and I'm not gonna be like, we've only got one more day left in the year. We'll go ahead and do the top 10 now because nothing else could happen in that last day. I'm not gonna do that.
It's 2020 and you just did it.
Well, remember, like, in late October, I think I told you, this has been a hell of a year, but, the worst is out of the way. Let's just coast into the holidays.
He did say that.
I did say that crap.
You know what? Jinxed us. Big time.
Dear God. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that I've said over the last 12 months
Millennium.
that has, absolutely... Like, I look back at what I said, and I was like, dear God, if I would have only known, I wouldn't have said that.
Right.
But, yeah, so, anyway, we're going to be replying to people in the chat if you have some stuff to add to the 2020 year in review. We're trying to keep it on topic, though, because this is already going to be a very long video. And
James
so,
here.
hey there, James and Michael. I'm going to try to acknowledge everybody as you come into the chat. Let's just try to keep it on topic for 2020 in review. We have 13 points, which I think is accurate.
Lucky number 13.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's my favorite. One of my favorite numbers. For obvious reasons.
Yeah. And so we're going to go ahead and talk about these 13 big topics along with an honorable mention or two. It really in no particular order, even though I did try to kind of order them from least important to most important, but there's a lot of these like this. There are a lot of stories that happened this year that any other year they would have been the top story. But so much crap has happened this year that...
really though,
Yeah, what would have been the big story in 2019 is like number 8 this year, It's like...
It is. And then, the thing is like, for me especially, but I know this is true for a lot of people, like, we think of when the pandemic hit is when the year started, and it's not.
No, we were about a third of the year.
It feels like whatever happened before that was another time.
It did. Because I was watching a video this morning, and they were like, oh yeah, remember the first 2 months of the year when the biggest thing was Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yes. Yeah, pretty much. And because of, didn't that get, the top grossing action movie this year because COVID basically shut theaters down?
It was like the biggest movie of the year.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Who would have known?
If I would have, in January 1st, if you'd have been like, you know what? Sonic the Hedgehog is going to be the biggest movie of the year. And I would have been like...
What the fuck? Yeah.
What? We got Black Widow. We got The Eternals. We got all kinds of DC movies. We got Ghostbusters coming out. And
then all of a sudden it was like...
I never saw Sonic the Hedgehog. I am
either.
way behind. It's like, the pandemic happened. Maybe I can
James
finally...
said it was a really good movie.
Yeah, that's what I was like, yeah, holy crap. Okay,
it's on
so...
our list.
So kind of like, I guess we're going to kind of combine these two as like, this is like kind of one of those behind the scene things that we don't really like, we don't really pile our personal stuff on here. But like over the course of the year, if you've been watching and paying attention, you've noticed that I've kind of gone from like one locale to another while streaming. And that happened like late in the summer. And basically what happened was me and Ashley split up, and she moved to California, and she's coming back probably in a couple of months. And I ended up here living with Amber during the late part of was it summer or early fall?
Early fall.
Okay, early fall. So that's like a big thing. Like that's one of those things that we don't really talk about a whole lot. But if you haven't watched our videos since like June, and then suddenly you're popping in to see this, and you're like, "What's going on here?" That's what happened. So,
Look at Michael. He said his favorite was making your day with the Borderlands purchase.
oh yeah, that freaking that was great because like I don't. Oh God, like I haven't. I'm gonna have to get online and play with some people eventually. Like that's gotta happen eventually. And like this year has been weird. Like it's nice to have those games in a portable sense though, because now it's like no matter where I can go, I can play Borderlands. So that was like super appreciated. Um Number 12. Okay, that was kind of like two put together. Another one that we did, this happened in November, and any other time this would have been probably the biggest story of the year in terms of stuff that we've done. But in like the last part of October, we got together as a channel and kind of went against everything we've wanted to do up to that point, and we endorsed a presidential candidate. Anybody who's followed us knows that it wasn't going to be Trump.
Right. Here's the thing. We've always been on human rights issues and social justice issues and that sort of thing, but we've never really endorsed a political candidate.
Yeah, we've never done that.
Never. But, like, Trump's not really about all the stuff I just mentioned, so
yeah,
we kind of needed to push that.
Like, yeah, we needed to, at that point, it was like, if you've ever had any doubt as to what we stand for, we're just going to lay it right out right now. And, don't, if, like, I wanted it to be that if by some weird chance Trump won the election in November, it wasn't because of us at all. Like, I didn't want to be attached.
Let's establish that now.
I did not want to be attached to that bullshit in any way whatsoever. Because a lot of people look at us and they think, oh, Tennessee brand, Trump country. No. Nope.
No.
There are a lot of us around here, too. The only problem is where we live, the city, there's a big chunk of people who think like us. But the rest of the state, which is considered...
have Confederate flags in their yard.
Yeah, you can look out of our window right now, and if you look at just the right angle down the street, you can see one.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not big on that.
I mean, it's like that. It's that divided.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So yeah, that was a big one. Like that was pretty major. That would have been one of our top 3 at any point any other year. But it wasn't this year. It was barely a blip on the radar.
It really was.
Next up, and you say this isn't a big deal.
Oh my gosh. Not channel bearing. It is a big deal to me.
Because I'm telling you, by the end of next year, I think you'll be playing at least a little bit on the channel with your Switch. But anyway, Amber got a Switch.
Yay,
for Christmas.
I did.
So
exciting.
Which
it's an Animal Crossing Switch too, by the way. If you didn't see the picture, and even though Lonnie's the one that bought it for me, he's incredible. I'm jealous.
I'm insanely jealous. Like I would give my Switch and like $50 to somebody if they would give me an Animal Crossing Switch.
I'm sick of you. Hey, if you want to trade Switches,
hey, speaking of, this is not even video related, but I'll go ahead and tell you while it's on my mind.
Yeah.
Whenever I got my Switch, it came with like a carrying case, and so, or the case with the games in it, and I was flipping through it like 2 nights ago, or my last night off before I went back to work, and I found, where I didn't even notice it, but there is a brand new unused 64 gigabyte memory card, and so I'll give it to you for your Switch because that way you've got more space. Perfect. But I thought that was kind of neat. Is that me or you?
That is me, but it's
okay. Okay, so yeah, you got a Switch. Next up, you guys will switch it up.
Yeah, I know.
But don't.
Michael got the fun award for that one.
Next up, Mario 35. If you've been following this channel since, I'm guessing, October, mid-October.
Yeah, it's about time to start playing it.
Yeah, for about 3 months now, I have been playing almost nothing on the channel except Mario 35. I sat down, I played it, I started doing really good on it, and it was funny because I was winning matches already, and then Ashley popped into the chat one day and was watching, and she was like, hey, you know that you are not using power-ups and stuff, and you're not using your coins? And I was like, how in the hell do you do that? Come to find out, I wasn't even using the coins to purchase items, and I was still doing good. And so once,
wow. So that's really... Kudos to Ashley for changing that up.
Yeah. So I went from like finishing 5th to 1st to finishing 1st, 2nd, and 3rd every single time. So I was like, okay, that's good. So I've done probably 250 hours of Mario 35 streaming since the 1st of October. Like, it's just about all we play.
Yeah, it's about all you play. Absolutely. James said that Maddie got the same Switch as me. And looks like Haley and Betty are watching, even though they're not saying anything.
You calling people out.
I'm always calling people out. I want them to talk. Say hey.
So yeah, Mario 35 is probably going to continue being a regular game. Probably the game until March. And unfortunately, at the end of March, Nintendo is taking it off, and we're not going to be able to play it anymore.
Oh, James thinks it's bullshit that we can't do multiplayer on 35.
Yeah.
You know what? I would agree.
I do.
Fun.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I would like to see an update to where you can do like parties, you know. People get together and go into a game as groups and stuff. That'd be kind of cool. Okay, number 9, and I would like to get him for this, but I'm pretty sure he's still under the love seat.
Yeah, he's under the love seat.
Next up, Zero becomes a UNN favorite. And up until...
Everybody loves him.
Everybody loves Zero. Up until I, basically, up until I moved in here, he was a rambunctious little shithead. And, I mean, he still is, but now I, like, can't get away from him.
Yeah.
And he's gotten better. Like, he doesn't chew on cords, and he doesn't destroy things. And so he has kind of just, like, down here is his area. And so I'm streaming in his area, and he's just kind of naturally become a part of the channel. And he's everybody's favorite part of the channel. Everybody loves Zero. So
it's kind of like Squish for Neo.
Yeah. And I didn't even try to make him part of the channel.
No, you tried desperately to make Logan and Jubilee a part of the channel at one point.
Yeah.
And Zero just took it upon himself. Like...
It's funny because they didn't want to be a part of the channel. But then Zero comes in and tries to be part of the channel, and now Logan and Jubilee are pissed off because Zero's part of the channel.
They're just pissed off he's here.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Oh, okay. Next up, which I consider number 8, our move to multi-streaming. And if you're watching right now, you are seeing the fruits of that labor, because on Black Friday, like, I had a little bit of extra money, and they had a sale where it's like, hey, you can get a year of streaming for like 80% off or something. And I was like, holy crap. Because used to, we could only stream to YouTube, we could only stream to Twitch, or we could only stream to Facebook. You couldn't do more than one at a time. And so, like, I got on there and saw that they had that multi-stream option through Streamlabs, and I was like, holy crap. So, yeah, I got on there and got it. And, yeah, Zero's coming out from under the love seat. Come here, buddy. You want to be on the channel? We were just talking about you. Yep, come here.
He's like, what the hell?
No!
He was step on the keyboard.
Look, goddamn. And he farted.
That's what you get.
God. He don't like it when I pick him up like that. Like I could tell he didn't want to be picked up. But if he ever has that look, like, don't pick me up, and you pick him up anyway, you're going to get cat gas. So.
I mean, he's got it figured out. That'll put him down real quick.
So, the multi-streaming is going to be something that kind of carries us through 2021. And let's pray to God that 2021 is a better year than 2020. Yeah. Number 7, and this is wholly due to COVID-19. 2020 was the first year in recent memory that we have not had a single Marvel project to watch. We haven't had anything on Disney Plus. We haven't had anything in the movies. All year. And it was weird because the last movie that came out that we were able to watch was Spider-Man Far From Home, and we all did that that was actually Zero's first appearance on the channel. He was a little kitten. And hey Angie, welcome.
Angie.
And so yeah, you can go back like on our channels and look Spider-Man Far From Home and watch that video, and you'll see Zero for the first time. But that was July of last year. And, it was, everybody was already griping that we were already going to be almost they were like, oh my God, it's Spider-Man Far From Home. And then, they were going to wait a while and have Black Widow come out. I think Black Widow was supposed to come out in November last year, I think. No, Maybe. It was supposed to come out in May.
Yeah, I was just saying, I felt like that was a summer movie.
Yeah, so it was already going to be almost a year. And they were like, oh, we're just wanting everybody to kind of come down off of Endgame and, all that. And then come to find out it was going to be like 2 more years because of COVID. And I'm like, thanks, Marvel. And Disney seems just hell-bent on not releasing this movie on Disney Plus.
They are, yeah.
I'm like, how they did it with Mulan is they released it on Disney Plus, but you had to pay like $25 or $30. You had to be a Disney Plus subscriber, and then you also had to pay $25 or $30 to watch the movie. But you would own the movie from that point on. Betty's in the chat now.
Yeah, we got a lot going on in the chat. James says, this has been James, proud supporter of UNN for 1,374 days. May you all have a safe and happy New Year's Eve, and look forward to another year as one hell of a dysfunctional family.
Yeah, pretty much.
Michael says the multi-streaming will also be the linchpin, maybe launch pad.
No, it's linchpin.
Okay.
For
the next Facebook ban for reposting something someone else posted and you getting the full brunt.
I mean...
And Betty says, I'm holding my nephew so I can't talk, but I'm happy to be here.
the thing with like the Facebook ban, like, yeah...
Hey, Tina. To me, sorry.
the good thing about multi-streaming is we're not putting all of our eggs in one basket right now. That's the number one reason why I'm doing this. I got so tired of picking a channel. Like, used to, we had to pick one. We had to pick one of the 3, and I would devote everything to it because I don't want to half-ass a bunch of streams. I want to devote all of my time to one. Because otherwise you're not going to grow. And so it got to the point where, like, I'm going to focus on Facebook now. And then we'd get a freaking Facebook ban over some nonsense. And then I'm like, okay, I'm going to focus on YouTube. And then we would get a YouTube ban for, like, some copyright BS. And I'm just like, I got tired of it. So now we're streaming across all 3. And if we get banned in one...
We still have other options.
Okay, we're flying a 3-engine plane. We've still got 2 engines. I think we're doing okay.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're going with it. But yeah, no Marvel content this year. We've gone almost 2 years now without Marvel content. The next thing we're gonna be seeing is gonna be, I think, January 15th is when it's coming out. WandaVision, and then we're gonna have Black Widow in May. And it's just having to wait so long for all that crap.
It's going to be worth it, though, hopefully. So
Yeah, because I think we're going to have something like 21 movies over the next 5 years or something like that. Yeah, There's going to be like, 4 or 5 movies.
Back. I'm so excited.
We're going to be averaging a new movie between Marvel and DC like every 90 days. Just plus all the stuff they're putting out on Disney Plus, all the Star Wars stuff they're putting out on Disney Plus, Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett. There's gonna be all kinds of crap going on.
Well,
So
I can't wait.
we've got
Anyway.
a bunch of neat stuff going on. Okay, next up. Oh yeah, this sucks. This goes along with the COVID thing too, but on December 8th, the day that I got out of my surgery, my dad passed away from COVID. So that actually, that affected the channel in a big way. Because like, you know, we still streamed and the channel was like my way to cope. Like I love streaming as a way for me to get through bullshit. Because, you know, if anything bad's going on, by God, I'm going to be on here streaming, getting my mind off crap, and doing everything. So, I mean, you know, it was like one of those things that I had time to kind of get ready for. Because, you know, for like 2 weeks, I knew it was coming. I just knew.
Yeah.
Because, you know, at a certain point, the doctors were like,
Hey,
just being real with you, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had time to come to peace with that. And it sucks. It does. There's no way you can lose a parent that you're close to without it sucking horribly. And, like, I now have neither parent. So, yeah, that does suck. But all things considered, I mean, it is what it is, you know? It's 2020, the year of COVID. So, I mean, yeah, that sucks. But, number 4, the 2021 equipment reboot. Now, this is less 2020 and more. This is going to affect us in the year going forward.
Yep.
Which was interesting because, like, some of the inheritance I got from my dad actually went towards this. You know, I've been like practically begging for a new mic, you know, a new camera, because we've been using the same kind of camera for like 4 years now.
And that camera was done.
Yeah.
It was outdated.
I'd only had that camera for about a year, and it was donated by a fan actually.
Okay, but we already had this discussion. Yes, but it was the same brand as the one you had before.
It was the exact same one.
Yeah, so, like, it's still old, even though you had only had it for a year.
Yeah.
The technology was still old.
Hey, Wonder Woman 84...
It's not a Marvel movie, first of all.
Well, yeah, it's not a Marvel movie. I never saw Justice League. I never saw the first Wonder Woman. I know that's weird, since I'm, like, the admin of, like, a big nerd page.
I know, I hadn't Joseph's watched all that. He said they were really good.
I'm going to go ahead and let you know, aside from Batman and just a smidge of Superman, and maybe a tiny bit of the Flash, I don't care for DC. I really don't. I don't like... I understand the appeal of Wonder Woman, but I don't care for her as a character. I don't care much for Superman as a character. I don't really care for Green Lantern. I don't care for...
I'm not big on Superman. I'm not. And he's, like, you know, really popular, you know, but, like...
I think
even growing up with, like, the Christopher Reeve movies, I'm still not big on it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not.
I mean, I wasn't
either. It's not my thing. Some people love it, though. That's great for them.
Yeah, it is. It's
you
just...
know. Now, however, you know, I remember watching Super Friends as a kid. You know, I had my Super Friends shirt on, and I did enjoy that. I do enjoy some DC things, but it's really not at the top of my priority list. It's just not. I wished it was, but it's not. Unless it's Batman.
Did you see Joker?
Yes.
Okay. Because that was late last year.
Yeah, I was excited. Didn't we go see it together?
No, me and Mark did.
Who did I go see it with?
Hell if I know. I only saw it one time.
I mean, I saw it in theaters and then on H.
I have no clue.
I thought I went with you. Maybe it was just me and Joseph.
No, it was me and Mark. Me and Mark went and saw it. I'm fairly certain that was me and Mark. If he was watching, he would let me know, but I don't know. But yeah, we ended up getting, I got the Blue Yeti mic, which this thing is like the best thing to ever happen to the channel. In addition to the new webcam, which used to, if we were doing this, like if we were doing a video like this where we're blown up really big, Oh my God, it was like grainy. It looked like old
It
1970s,
looked rough. It was rough looking.
especially in low light. Like at this level of light, it still would have been pretty rough if we would have blown it up really big. You would have seen a lot of like little grainy pixels and stuff because it just wasn't high def enough.
Mm.
And this thing, even in low light, looks amazing. Like I love it, and it was only like $40. So yeah, absolutely. And then also, I got a wireless headset, so I can listen to stuff, which is really freaking great. And Mike says you're looking somewhat professional now.
Oh,
Oh yes,
thank you.
we have a microphone. That means I can get up and do the ASMR videos. Not really. I'm never. You didn't. Nobody wants to see ASMR with Lonnie.
Maybe me, but not you. Depends on what I'm doing.
Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and mark that off right there. But yeah, I did get me a wireless headset for Christmas. That was pretty cool, and that was really so. The biggest reason I got that was because all of the one ear headsets were none of them would let you listen to gameplay video or gameplay audio. All I could hear was, and you know, if I'm playing and I can't hear out of this ear and I've got this ear covered up listening to chat, I can't hear the game. So I ended up getting that, and it's paid off. Pretty nice little Turtle Beach wireless headset. So yeah. The equipment reboot, that's going to do wonders for 2021. Just go ahead and get ready. 2021 for UNN is going to look and sound a lot better than 2020 did, or pretty much any time before that. Number 3, this happened right about the time the pandemic hit, when I was still kind of afraid to even leave the apartment. I had a Spider-Man edition, a red Spider-Man edition PS4 Pro, and I had it for about a year, and I had like 2 games with it and a couple of controllers, and I found somebody who was badly wanting it, and they were willing to give me a Switch and a bunch of games and like a controller and all kinds of stuff. And so I took it. I drove all the way up to Cleveland, Tennessee, and did a swap out with them there at a gas station. I mean, this was to the point where like they showed up, and I had a mask on, and I would have wore a hazmat suit. Because if y'all remember, I know this is kind of way back. It seems like forever ago, but in early April when I did this, we didn't know a lot about COVID-19 yet. You got to remember, I quit my job out of just pure fear of catching this, because you heard about 10 different things and nobody knew anything. Nobody knew. People were saying all kinds of stuff. Oh, you know, it only affects, you know, babies and old people. But nobody knew. You know, we were still very misinformed, and nobody knew what the hell was going on. Nobody knew who could die. You know, you were hearing stories about 20-year-olds catching it and keeling over dead a week later, and I'm just like, and nobody around here wanted to wear a mask. You couldn't find masks, hardly.
Yeah, it was really hard to find masks.
March, April, and May was a different world. And I went up there, and the dude didn't have a mask on, and I was just like, and so I was like, you know, I had my mask on, and I was like, here, man, you just stay over there. I'll look through your stuff. You look through mine, and we'll. And so I got it home, and we played a handful of games. Bunch of the games that came with it, I just had no desire whatsoever. I sold about half the games I had on eBay and went from there. We had some games on here that people enjoyed seeing me play, but I didn't like them.
What were they?
Oh,
God, I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there were like
I guess they were that bad.
I got like 23 games. Yeah. And
well, I mean, I just meant the ones you played on here that you didn't care for.
Yeah, and I can't remember.
Oh, well, shit.
I know Octopath Traveler was a pretty fun game, but I made it to a certain point in it where I just didn't feel like playing it anymore.
Right.
It was a super cool game. It was a fun game, and I've actually had some people pop onto our Twitch channel who have been like, "Hey, when are you playing Octopath again?" And I'm like, I kind of sold it back in like September.
You only really find masks online. You're right. It got to the
Oh,
point.
that
You
was
had to
yeah,
order.
yeah. That was then.
Yeah.
Now they're like on every
Yeah,
Walmart aisle.
yeah. Now you can find them at Walmart pretty decently. Oh, they had a whole section at the Dollar General when we stopped.
Yeah,
So
like it's not a problem at all. I mean, even my boss at work was like, "Hey, I ordered like a 5 pack of those the cloth ones. It's a cloth mask and it has a Velcro back to it to
oh,
where it
okay,
doesn't go on
neat.
your ears,
Yeah.
and it has those the little filters on the front of it."
Okay.
She's talking about how comfortable it was. She's like, "I bought a 5 pack of them, and I've got like 3 extras." She's like, "You want to buy one for like $8?" And I was like, "Yeah, next time we work together, bring it into work. I'll be glad to buy it." Because I mean, even though I'm healed on my ear, having the mask loop on my ear
It's still
still
uncomfortable.
still is slightly uncomfortable. It's not like hurting or anything. It doesn't cause damage. It doesn't hurt me, but it just doesn't feel great. And so I would like to have something on my face that works and doesn't do a lot
That
of
sounds
pressure.
great to me, except for the Velcro.
Okay,
The
my
Velcro would get stuck in my hairs.
well, she has longer hair, and the Velcro isn't. I don't know.
But it's also me. Like, I'm just telling you.
Let's see. Michael says never played Octo. They tried to sell me a copy, but wasn't sure if I'd like it and didn't want to spend the. Was it only $20?
Probably was.
Well, I mean, when what, a year ago, it was. I don't know. Yeah. Let's see. New egg. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sold mask for a time. Everybody sold mask. My
Yeah.
job sold protective equipment for a little while.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. There were whenever they had a lot of non-essential businesses forced to shut down, if you carried PPE devices, any kind of personal protective equipment, mask, gloves, protective equipment of any kind, you could stay open legally.
Oh.
And so my job, which deals in stuff that's definitely not PPE for the most part, started carrying protective equipment and was allowed to stay open during the pandemic. That was a little legal loophole that a lot of people could have utilized, but I guess they didn't know it. I guess I'm good to be.
Some of them didn't know it.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
But now a lot of places carry them just because there's a mandate.
Yeah.
And they want to enforce it, and so they're like, "Well, okay, you don't have a mask, you can have this one for $1 or for free."
That's what we do at work. We don't want to turn people away, and so we're like, here's a mask.
I mean, how many times have I forgotten my mask?
Yeah.
Here recently.
And I mean, you don't want to lose a big sale because you're not able to give somebody a quarter mask. I've had times where they've been like, "Oh, I don't have a mask," and I'm like, "Oh, here you go. 20 cents. Here you go. Here's your mask," and then they end up spending $250.
Right.
So
worth it, worth it. Absolutely.
Okay, we're down to our top 2 stories of the year. And this was a big one for me. Ear surgery. December 8th, I had ear surgery, and the lead up to that was insane because here's the thing. I'm not a fan of the United States healthcare system.
No, I ain't either.
I basically had to have $2,000 up front to be able to get my ear surgery that I needed to function. And I ended up doing a GoFundMe for it. I ended up having to take out a personal loan for it. I mean, yeah, I had for bills and everything. I was out of work. The United States does not have a good safety net program at all. I had to have that surgery to continue to function as a human being. Otherwise, I couldn't work full time. I had dizziness and everything, and so I spent a good solid 3 weeks, working on the GoFundMe, only working part time. I was out of work for a few weeks, and then I kind of transitioned to part time because I just had to have it to pay the bills. And our channel was generous to the point where I was able to accumulate $2,000 in GoFundMe money over the course of about 2.5 weeks. And I had a couple of people, every single donation down to like $1. It was precious to me. At the same time, I had like one or two people who gave like 500 or more. I had yeah, and that was like crazy, crazy, crazy. I was just like, man, oh man, oh man.
Our fans, they really showed up and showed out.
Everybody
on
stepped
that.
in.
Like, I was really impressed. I know we have a great community, but I did not expect that kind of response towards your GoFundMe.
Yeah.
I really did not. I expected to maybe meet about half the goal. Maybe if we were lucky. That was me being optimistic. And then
Me too.
we had it met. Like, no problems.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
And a lot of what I heard, you know, a lot of people did it privately. Some people did it, you know, publicly. You know, it was kind of like half and half. But a lot of what I got, because, you know, people can always leave you a message when they donate. And one of the most common things was people that were like, hey, I'm from Switzerland, or I'm from the UK, or, you know, I'm from Greece.
Yes, and I'm sorry you're going, you know, I'm sure you got a bunch of, I'm sorry you're having to do this.
Yeah, basically, hey, you know, we're sorry you live in America and are having to do this. And I'm like, land of the free, yay.
Right. Pretty much, honey.
I mean, you know, no, I'm not going to sit here and just constantly gripe about the country, but.
Right, but that is one aspect that affects everyone.
Yep.
In this country. Well, everyone who's not rich, but anyway.
Honestly, if my credit wasn't where it's at right now, I don't have great credit. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah.
But if my credit wasn't at least at a certain level, I may not have been able to get that surgery. Your health is dependent on your credit, which is dependent on your health, which is just a vicious bullshit cycle that shouldn't be the case.
No, it shouldn't be, but...
Then you've got a lot of people running around saying that universal health care is the devil, and I'm like, fuck you, you're the devil for not wanting it.
I know.
So,
it's like,
because...
how heartless of a person you have to be not to want universal health care. Seriously.
We are the only developed country in the world that doesn't offer guaranteed health care for its citizens.
Yeah.
And...
literally.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a big part of why we endorsed Biden in November. Mm-hmm. That's a major, major part, because on the other side, you know, it might not be leaps and bounds progress with Biden, but it's a hell of a lot better than the other guy. So,
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I ended up having the ear surgery. Do you want to tell the story? Okay, look, I had the December 8th. We show up at the hospital at what, like 5:30?
Oh God, yeah, it was fucking early as hell.
Yeah, it was like 5:30. We had to be there at 5:30
because your surgery was at 7.
Yeah, so we showed up at like 5.
Yeah,
and we get everything done. We go back there, and they make me go back there and kind of get ready. They put the IV in and everything. And so then, just before it's 2 phases. The guy comes in to begin with and injects, like, you're already getting the IV, which I guess is everything. So they the dude comes in and he like injects directly into your line the like feel good, I don't give a shit juice.
Yeah, to help your nerves and settle you down. It's like
it's like 5 or 10 minutes before you go back for surgery. And then once you feel good, then they wheel you back and put the mask over your face. So, right before they put the feel-good stuff into my IV, they let Amber come back there to see me.
So they put that feel-good stuff in you.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just hanging out, you know, answering questions from nurses and stuff, you know, and they're getting ready to take you back, and we're talking, and it was just, I told Lonnie, it's just like when you get drunk. Like, 1 minute you're sober, and the next minute I look over and you got that glazed look in your eye and you're drunk. Like, it happens that quick. And it did the same thing with the feel good stuff. Like, he was like, all of a sudden, like, talking about the page, which is normal. That's the normal Lonnie thing. He was like, yeah, we do game streams and movie reviews and post tasteless nerd memes. And I was like, tasteless? I looked and I was like, oh, Lonnie's already high. And they go to wheel him out. And he says, I wish there was a way you could FaceTime Zero. Mind you, we don't have iPhones. We can't even call it, we don't call it FaceTime. You know, they have the Duo or whatever. But yeah. And I was like, well, there's not really. And the nurses said, who's Zero? And I was like, that is our youngest cat. And then as Lonnie's being rolled away, he proceeds to tell them, yes, he's a deaf white albino kitty. So there's no telling what he said after that.
No, I didn't say a whole. I mean, I remember for the most part everything that happened at that point. And they after that, I do remember that. I probably wouldn't have remembered it if you hadn't brought it up a few times. Yeah. But it was literally a 15-second go from where we were at then to the operating room. And yeah. I'm not going to lie, y'all, for like 3 weeks, I was scared shitless of being put under. I was so scared.
Yeah, he was real nervous.
Because I was so afraid that I was going to wake up in just severe pain, or I was going to like not wake up, or, you know, I mean, a little less so, but I was afraid, you know, I was going to like wake up in the middle of surgery, you know, but, you know, they know what they're doing. And it's like you have a better chance of like getting hit by lightning or hitting the lottery jackpot than something like that happening. So I did a lot of research, obviously. But they wheeled me back into the room and the operating room, you know, under all the lights. I looked like I was in some kind of alien abduction experience. And, you know, they were like, okay, we're going to get you, you know, we can help you if you need to, but we need you to kind of bounce over to this operating table. And all right. Because, you know, I'm already feeling pretty good. And I didn't care. So I pop over. You know, normally, without that feel-good stuff, you know, they're telling me to get on the operating table. I'm just like, but, you know, I'm just like, okay. So I hop over, and they get the mask that has the stuff that really puts you out. And, it was like a kind of a clear blue-green color mask. Looked kind of like the thing that like they wore on their faces in the Tim Burton Batman movie for the Joker gas. And so they put it on my face, and it just flops down on my face. There's all kinds of spaces, you know, between the mask and my face. And my thought is, you know, this thing is supposed to be like skin tight, you know, to where you get the gas. And I was like, I don't think this is working, y'all. You know, there's a lot of space here in between the mask. And they're like, oh, no, it's fine. I was like, I don't know about that. And then next thing, I'm waking up from the surgery.
Okay.
I was in the middle of telling them, hey, the gas isn't working. And then I wake up. I'm like, well, okay, it worked. But yeah, I woke up and I was like, I mean, immediately, it was just like that. And I was like, whoa, I'm kind of awake now. And I was like, because, you know, I hadn't had the thought yet to reach up and fill the bandage. And I asked the lady who was sitting there, I was like, did I have the surgery okay? And she's like, yeah, everything went great. And I was like, where's Amber at? And they're like, oh, she'll be over here in a minute. We just got to let her know you're awake. I said, okay. And so 2 things happened right at that point. I reached up and I felt, and I was like, okay, because I wasn't even going to dare touch over here. And then I reached down between my legs to make sure they hadn't put a catheter in. Because I was just scared to death they were going to put a catheter. Because I have a coworker, my boss's husband, who was trying his best to scare me, saying, oh, they're going to put a catheter in if you're under for more than an hour or 2, and when they pull it out, it's going to hurt. And I'm just like, so that was the first thing I did. I reached down to make sure that there wasn't like a tube hanging out of my penis. So like I was good at that point. And I was like, okay, cool. But they did have like pads under me just in case like I peed or something.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm basically a
puppy
cat.
Pads.
Yeah, a puppy or a kitten. So, but yeah, it's been a little over 3 weeks now, and I'm still having to keep cotton balls in my ear, and putting antibiotic drops every day, but the incision behind my ear is about 90% healed up. I can get it wet now, but I'm still having to keep water out of this ear, and it probably won't be fully healed until, I'm guessing, end of February, maybe sometime in March. But yeah, that's how long we're going to be dealing with that. Going to have to keep an eye on it for a little while, that kind of thing. So we're good. I'm good. I finally got the ear fixed. No more ear infections, hopefully, and hopefully it stays healed. And yeah, everything's good. Hopefully I'll get my hearing back, but doctor already told me don't even expect it.
Yeah.
Because right now I have zero hearing out of this ear. I can actually take the cotton ball out, turn my phone volume all the way up, and put it against my ear, and I don't hear anything. So I'm just like, so whatever. But anyway, that's enough on the ear surgery. That was probably personally my biggest story. And then number one. Mike says, hopefully we found a way to FaceTime Zero, though. No, we didn't.
No.
But it was outpatient surgery, so I was able to come home and see him that evening.
Right.
Because we were home by like, what, 1 o'clock, 1:30, something like that?
Well, it's a little later because we had to freaking wait on your...
Oh, yeah.
But that's another story for another day.
Oh, one more thing. It was weird, too, because my inner ear was so sensitive to everything. We were like pulling out at a red light or something.
Oh yeah, I was pulling out of that parking lot, and I had to kind of
you kind of mashed the gas and went, and like a quick acceleration, I could feel everything in my ear like shifting around, and I was like, oh God.
I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was like, let's don't ever do that again.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not intending to, I promise.
Yeah, because it didn't hurt, but it was just so uncomfortable. Like it's hard to explain. Like imagine like if there was like an inch of space around your brain, like empty space, and somebody were to hit the gas, and it was almost like a jar of marbles being shaken around, and everything was shifting, and I was like, whoa. It scared me. I was like, didn't even know what to think about that. But anyway, our number one story of 2020. Anybody want to take a wild guess as to what our number one story of 2020 is? Anybody?
The Mandalorian?
The Mandalorian deserves at least an honorable mention.
Oh, yeah.
I'll go ahead and put that down.
I was joking, but no. Yeah.
Nope. The number, Mike says, like your ear popping, but instead of it popping, it was more like, jiggling. Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Exactly right on that, Mike. Exactly.
It was like I had, it's almost like a half full jar of water sloshing.
Ugh.
Doing that movement.
That sounds awful.
And that's what it felt like. It was, I will never, knock on wood, will never experience something like that again.
Oh.
Because now it's healed and driving around and stuff, it doesn't do that. That's how I can tell, it's not a fresh surgery anymore. But, yeah, it was crazy. So, yeah, the number one story of 2020 that has affected...
Equilibrium.
Oh, it was. It was equilibrium like nobody's businesses. What that was. Number one story of 2020, COVID-19. And here's the thing. January 1st, we knew about it. But like typical Americans, and probably a lot of other people, in Europe and stuff, that stuff will never bother us. I remember back in February, I had a cough at work and people were joking, hey, you got the coronavirus. And I'm like, ha 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 ha. And
okay, but all jokes aside, I really think we might have had it back in February at work, and we just didn't know. Or it wasn't the flu, it wasn't strep, it was just this upper respiratory.
I mean, you never know,
right?
Because they were tested. I had some coworkers tested back in April when I was gone, and one of the individuals had the antibodies for COVID in like April, and they didn't know when they ever had it. We had a lot of people who were saying, back in November, and I was deathly the week that Disney Plus came out back last November.
Yeah, you were.
I was so sick that I was out of work for a week, and I was so sick that the season premiere of Rick and Morty came on, and I didn't even feel like watching it until like 2 days later. Yeah, like I didn't even feel like watching TV. I was just out, and that was like the most sick I've been probably in 15 years. So yeah, I personally don't think that was COVID because
nah, you had the flu.
I would have had to have had that 2 weeks before patient zero in China. So that anything before 2020 was no. You didn't have COVID. But yeah, people were joking around about coronavirus. Nobody took it seriously, and then suddenly we started. I think one person, where was it? Like in California or Nevada, somewhere over there, they contracted it, and then our first confirmed case, and then you heard about the first confirmed death, and then next thing you know, there's a few hundred people, and then a few thousand people have it, and then 100,000 people have it, and then
it was crazy.
About that time is when I started freaking the hell out, because none of our local governments or state governments or even the feds at that point wanted to do anything. They were like, look, 20 million people could die. We don't want to fuck up the economy. And I'm like, what? And Mike says, I remember joking to my coworker that I would finally have that 2-week vacation I wanted.
Shit.
Yeah, and I mean, nobody took it seriously until, and even after it really hit, there was still a big group.
Yeah, there's still a big group that ain't taking it seriously.
I don't want to throw a politically heated like jab out there, but I don't, if you disagree with me, whatever, I don't care. But I hold Donald Trump personally responsible for my dad dying.
Yeah, he didn't take shit seriously as our president.
He didn't take anything seriously.
Anything, COVID or anything, the last 4 years.
If he would have he demonized mask wearing, and if he could have just as easily been like, yeah, you know what, this is a crisis, everybody needs to hunker down, do your part.
For that matter, like just 3 months ago, he was still calling it the China flu. He wouldn't even call it.
Oh, he called it the China virus 2 days ago. I read it on Twitter.
Like, it's like, what the fuck?
But I do. I hold that man personally responsible and always will, because my dad was one of those 70 million people that voted for him, and he could have looked outside right now and said the sky's purple. Yeah, and my dad would have, swore by it just like all those other people did. And because of all that false information and bullshit that was spewed out by him, Fox News, all these right-wing gullible people, that directly, I'm not even going to say indirectly, that directly led to my dad catching that and passing away 3 weeks later.
Because that's what he died from, Yep.
And I do. I
don't blame you a bit. I think it's a very accurate thing to say.
Yeah, and I feel strongly about it that if somebody was like, I certainly don't agree with that, fuck you.
I mean,
seriously,
whatever.
because I feel more strongly about that than I do just about anything this year. And I've never said it out loud in public, but yeah, I'm saying it right now. Like I do. I hold Donald Trump and all of those right-wing bullshit agencies personally responsible for that happening. And I think that had happened with so many other people, and I think that's why he's not getting another term. Let's see. Angie says, I was actually sick and had to get tested in April. I was told I would get the results in 2 weeks, and I was out of work for a month because I wasn't allowed to come back without getting the results. Yeah, that April was about when everything like that started. If you got sick, you had to have a negative COVID test to come back. And God, there's no telling how many people were sick, nah, it's not COVID, and continued to work and just spread it.
Right.
Even to the point where, is it accurate? They're not doing Times Square New Year's Eve tomorrow night?
As far as I know, that's accurate.
Okay.
I haven't. Look, I'll Google it.
Yeah.
I got you.
But yeah, COVID-19 pretty much turned the world upside down this year. All of our movies were postponed. TV shows postponed. It started to work its way into popular culture, well, like a lot. First time I ever saw it referenced was on the Rick and Morty premiere, where the Story Train episode, where Rick was like, nobody's out there buying because of this damn virus, that kind of thing. And I thought that was so neat. Oh, they referenced that. And then what we were watching the other day, Superstore.
Hold on. The organizers of the New Year's Eve celebration in Times Square announced in September that while the ball will still drop, it will be a virtually enhanced celebration, according to a press release from the Times Square Alliance.
Angie just had 2 family members that were hospitalized with COVID, and I do hate that for you. I'm sorry to hear that, because I've been there.
Right, that's awful.
The timeline for my dad, it's the timeline couldn't have been any worse timed, because my birthday is on November 24th. November 23rd, he called me and said he tested positive. The day before my birthday, that was the 23rd on a Monday. That was Thanksgiving week. Thanksgiving, Thursday, he had fallen that morning and had to have somebody come and help him up. Friday, he fell again, and at that point, he said, I want to go to the hospital. He went to the hospital on Friday.
The day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the day after Thanksgiving, he went in the hospital. By a week later, they had to put him on life support. So in 1 week, he went hospital, life support. Just like that. And after that, that was a week. And then a week and 2 days after that, he was gone. He spent about a week, a little bit over a week on life support. That was it. And I was like, damn. But yeah, that was a long 3 weeks. It was from the time of his diagnosis, his positive test, to the time they pulled him off life support and he was gone was 3 weeks and 1 day. So it did not screw around. No, it didn't. And that's actually been the thing, and I've had that happen. I've always told everybody, because around here you run into a lot of those assholes that are like, especially if they're having to wear a mask, you'll hear people say, I don't know why you got to wear a mask. COVID's no big deal. Do you know anybody that's died of COVID? I don't. Now there's lots of people with that story, or so. Yeah, but now when I hear somebody spew that bullshit, I call them out immediately. Right. And I'm like, I do know. Somebody online say that, there's more stories now. Yeah. It's gotten worse. And here's one more thing while we're talking about it, and I'm here just kind of going off at the mouth. On Twitter is a toxic cesspool of bullshit, and I've had people on our local news sites who have been like, COVID's no big deal, and then I got on there and I was like, yeah, COVID is a big deal. My dad tested positive on the 23rd of November and died on December 8th. Get your fucking facts straight. And they came back and replied, oh, shut the hell up. You're just a Russian bot. And I'm like, okay. At that point, I just want to tweet a picture of me going, Careful there. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah. It doesn't matter how much proof or how much. That is one bad thing that I think the last 4 years have brought us, and it's all kind of come to a head this year, is it doesn't matter how much proof you have to something. There is a group of people out there now where, regardless of the amount of proof, they're just going to dismiss you and say, you could have manufactured that, or, oh, you're just part of the conspiracy, or, oh, you're just a bot. And you can have photo, video evidence, and people just do not trust facts anymore. And it's
because they've been lied to so much. And then, like, of course, the old saying is, you tell a lie enough, it becomes truth.
Yeah, and it's happened.
Yeah.
You never thought that you would see it, but that's what we're dealing with now, and we're going into 2021. And here's another thing: year in review, 2020 year in review, and my buddy Alex Waters. That's probably a big thing. Me and him started playing a lot this year. He moved to Virginia Beach at the very tail end of last year, and that's kind of an honorable mention. And he is one of those people. If you have somebody close by. After COVID is over, if you have somebody close by that you're friends with and they're wanting to hang out or whatever, take the opportunity, because what happened last year is we all got together. I met Alex. He was a radio host on Hits 96 here in Chattanooga, and he came over. We all played on a live stream. Hey, let's get together. We got to do this again. This is a lot of fun. And like 90 days passed, and we just never did it. And then suddenly he got a call to Virginia Beach, and suddenly he's two states away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, son of a bitch. So this year I made it a point. I was like, look, you're over in Virginia Beach now. Let's play at least every other week online. Because let's have some fun. Let's do what we should have done when you were here and that kind of thing. And we've become really good friends as a result. So that's been kind of a major thing for me, is, developing that friendship. You also wanted to talk about Taco Bell.
Oh,
well, the honorable mention that a lot of people...
I have to ask you a question first.
Uh-huh.
Look at this cake. Does that look like a BioShock cake?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Well, okay. Shanae has her own cake business.
Yeah.
Well, she's like, I've never played the game. Does this look like a BioShock to you?
Well, I wish I could show this to y'all on here, but
I'll probably post it later from her page.
The other stuff is like kind of iffy, but the figures, yes, obviously. But personally, if I was to do a BioShock cake, I would have put like maybe some kind of dark black icing on it or something.
Okay.
I would have done that instead of white icing.
Okay.
Because, there's nothing white about the game.
I'll tell her that. Thank you.
Like, if you could, like, color the white icing to be, like, a dark gray or a black. Or even, like, one of those, like, gray-blue colors. Like Zero's eyes. That would have been good. But, basically, if it doesn't align with what you already think, it's a lie. And one of the things that I've done... Like, I'm not going to lie, y'all. I used to be the biggest homophobic, racist Bible thumper you could imagine. Could you imagine me being that way?
That's so scary to me.
I was. Up until about 2003.
I believe it, though.
I was like that.
I mean, I just think of the area that you grew up in.
Yeah.
And your surroundings, and I can believe that,
Like, in 2004, I voted Democrat for president, but at the same time, Georgia had a... ballot initiative where they wanted you to define marriage between a man and a woman, and I voted for that.
Gross.
And that, voting wise, was the low point of my adult life. And luckily, believe it or not, what kind of started pulling me away from that was Bill Maher. I know a lot of people despise Bill Maher.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like him.
Even people on the left despise Bill Maher. But his show, Real Time with Bill Maher, and some of his books that he wrote, spoke left beliefs to me in a way that I could understand. And I eventually realized, holy crap, there are some people who are just... there's fucking idiots out there who are in charge, and why have I been following them? I've been, it's been like the blind leading the blind. I need to kind of see what other viewpoints are out there. But that's how you
grow as a person. You discover things like that, and then when you discover things like that, then oh, well, there's another way to think, and then it leads you to seek out others that think that way, and then you grow some more, and
Yeah.
that's just how it is.
Oh, Mike says if it was a Bioshock cake, I would say go golden blue. She had some gold on there.
She did have it gold trimmed, yes.
Yeah.
When she posts it on her page, I'll be sharing it to our page so you can see it.
So, anything else? Do we have anything else besides? I mean, we really said this has been about an hour-long stream. I figured it would be, but are we going to be playing Mario Kart tonight?
I reckon that's what you said.
Y'all join us. I don't know if there'll be like any prizes involved or anything.
I figured we just doing it for fun.
Yeah.
Playing with everybody for fun, end of year stream. Yay!
Yeah, this will probably be like our last really big stream. Bring back Discord. Not gonna happen, man. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you.
Yeah, we have a lot on our plate in general.
Yep.
To have the spoons to run another platform.
Yep.
Because I had another suggestion for another platform a few weeks ago, and I was like, man, I don't have the time. Neither does Lonnie. Someone, I won't mention their name, wanted to maybe us set up a dating network for nerds.
Mm-mm.
And I was like, dude,
no, hell no.
Don't have the time for it.
I'll go ahead and tell you.
Barely have the time to do what we do.
Holy shit.
I was like, that would take so much modding. Like, I can't.
Like, a dating network would take more time to police than every other thing that we have combined.
Yep. Pretty much.
Because that would be, I feel like it would be an incel magnet.
It would be. Absolutely.
It would be.
It absolutely would be. And so I was like, sorry, dude. Because it was a dude.
But I'm like, anything that we could do on Discord messaging wise technically could be done on our Facebook page or our group.
The group especially, that's a very unutilized tool that we have.
Yeah.
And you guys could share whatever you want there, basically, as long as it's not someone else's stream. And I'll approve it. I do that all the time. I'll approve it. You find a cosplayer you like and want to share their stuff, I'll approve it, you know.
And a lot of the stuff that's on the group makes its way over to the main page.
Yeah,
you know?
It does do that sometimes. But like, the group is a great place for you to start conversations and everything.
Yep, and it's just, you know, we've got so much stuff, you know. I mean, I've been wanting to maintain a UNN website for like God knows how long, but I never have the energy to keep it going.
Right, and that takes a lot of energy to do.
Oh,
if you're going to keep it fresh, you know. And I really don't feel like it's that big a deal to have a website. I really don't.
It's not anymore.
No.
But yeah, I mean, because every time you share it on Facebook, like they limit the reach. They don't want anybody going to another website.
No, they don't. So.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Like, you know, we have a Facebook, we have a Twitch, we have a YouTube. I maintain a Twitter. You maintain a Twitter.
I have a Twitter, yeah.
I mean, there's just a lot of stuff out there, and then like Discord. You know, I try to stream a couple hours a day. And I would like to start writing again. And I would like to do some like videos, like some video skits and some funny stuff that we're going to do, which that's coming in 2021. I've got some stuff lined up there. And, you know, there's just so much stuff going on. Plus I'm working full time. And, you know, there's just this one thing after another.
I work full time, you know, my son's a teenager, but still nonetheless.
Yeah.
And a lot of y'all don't know, I go to school full time.
Yeah.
On top of working full time. Like I'm just enjoying winter break now. That is something that happened to me in 2020. I graduated with my certificate, my technical certificate for early childhood education. I graduated this summer. And as long as I don't fail any classes this year, I'll be graduating with my associates in early childhood education.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, but yeah, we don't our time is very precious. Like,
Yeah,
so,
like the stuff that we have right now is it. Like we're
mm-hmm.
not going to be starting anything new. Like
No.
if we start something new, it's going to come at the expense of deleting something that we have right now.
Right.
And
Thank you, Angie. Congratulated me so much.
oh yeah, and I mean I do want to mention this that this isn't like a big UNN thing or anything, but yeah, like during the course of the year, Taco Bell gutted their menu.
God,
You know,
that's sad.
a while back, like they got rid of Mexican pizza a while back. They've gotten rid of all kinds
I love
of
some Mexican pizza too.
gotten rid of all kinds of stuff.
Mexican pizza. There was they got rid of potatoes. Period.
Yes, no more potatoes.
And surprised me really. That was one of their biggest sellers, and I couldn't believe they got rid of all their potato products.
Yep.
But it is what it is. Of
course, they're saying, "Oh, we're going to be, adding some more stuff." Well, we're
Well,
still waiting.
Well, I think they've made the grilled cheese burrito a permanent menu item now. And
it wasn't on the menu last night when I went through there. Yeah, seriously.
Oh no, I thought it's been on there so long.
I don't know. I didn't see it. I was looking because I was gonna surprise you with one, and I didn't see it on the menu.
Oh no, that is my favorite.
Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll bring nacho fries in permanently.
I wish they would, but anyway.
But yeah, if anything, we're about to wrap the video. But if you have any suggestions for big things that happen in 2020, leave them in the comments after the fact. And I usually try to get in here and kind of look around and see stuff like that. So, anything further? Are we done?
I guess that's it.
Go get some lunch.
Yeah, I'm starving.
Taco Bell. Yep, we'll be on tonight, y'all. Multi-streaming across all 3 platforms, and we'll be playing some Mario Kart. I'm assuming it'll have to be split screen because we don't have 2 copies of the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be playing some Mario Kart this evening, probably about the time it gets dark. Look at the UNN Facebook page for the schedule on that, because I'm going to have it like a pre-scheduled gaming tournament, I guess. And yeah, so that's going to be pretty much it. We'll see everybody later this evening. I'm Lonnie.
I'm Amberlicious.
And we are Untitled Nerd Network. This has been the 2020 Year in Review Top Stories. We'll see y'all